All right, we're live. Hi, everybody. Sorry for the delays. For whatever reason, the my camera app's not working, and then I tried to use my a webcam, a backup webcam. That's not working. So I'm on the computer camera, and even though this is a 2021 Apple computer, it has the same camera that they built in 2011. So the visual's not going to be that good today. But as long as you can hear me and kind of see me, I think we're in business. So for those of you that are still here, that are still with us, welcome. And if you're watching this as a video, welcome. We're in tarot time now. So you guys let me know, or somebody let me know if you're actually seeing me. Okay, Jody's saying yay. So I guess you guys are actually seeing me and you're actually hearing me. So we're good. So for watching this as a video or for live, but for watching this as a video, I'll wait a couple minutes to let people come back because we had some interesting tech problems this morning. And what we do is we do just a forecast for the week. And that's going to tap into, we'll do our 3 card tarot spread. I do a meditation card. We have other divination tools, and the idea is to pick up on the energies that are going on in the world around us, that's affecting us individually, affecting us as a community, as well as of course the world at large. So yeah. All right, let me just ground myself. Maybe I'll have a little bit of water. So how are you guys doing? So Chris the volunteer sees us, best healing temples, I can see you. Yeah, the built-in webcam's not that bad. Maybe through the some of the updates that they improved on that, but oh my god, that was, I think that was strange. Definitely strange. All right. So Yvonne, hi Roseanne, hi Suzette, if you're still in, and Jody, I know you're still here, Manic Mama, and hi Beth from Beth's Healing Temple. Welcome. Hi Claire. So hi everybody. Welcome to Tarot Time. And one of the things that I'm noticing, in the collective, and maybe you guys are experiencing the same, is that there's a big like opening. It's almost like veils are opening right now. We just went into Gemini season, like I think yesterday, or I think yesterday the sun moved into Gemini, and the moon's in Gemini. So we kind of get out of that kind of earthy, grounded, sort of nurturing vibe and kind of go into much more of an expansive air sign vibe. And what I've been finding lately, and this is an ongoing process that's always happening, but I'm finding like new streams of information, new energetic portals of information, or that's always been available through the cosmos, have been sort of piercing the veils or the layers to affect the earth consciousness and affect our collective consciousness, and that results in us having new ideas, new information, maybe even new spirit guides or angels that start working with you, new directions, new ideas come up. So I think the idea is to just really be very kind of in your heart, be in your power, be in your center. And the more present that you can be, and the more in your heart that you can be, the more you can open up and to receive these new energetic downloads that's available to us now. So it's all part of the process of awakening, of ascension. It's a step-by-step process. It's not a gentle slope. It's a bump up, then a plateau as we start to assimilate the energies, and before we know it, there's another upgrade. So you guys are probably feeling a lot of changes in the world around you, and a lot of people, including myself for that matter, are leaving old friendships and attracting new friendships that are more empowered and aligned with my soul purpose, and what's happening and evolving in my life. And I have a feeling a lot of you. Yes, hi Christina Day from Spiritually Selfish channel. Welcome. And hi, everybody else, and Michelle, and anybody else that I miss, Roseanne, Angela. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's get started here. So what I like to do is maybe start out by pulling just a card for our meditation practices, something that you can work with. See, it's funny. I'm looking because usually my camera's like at eye level, but since I have to use the built-in camera of my computer, like, oh, the camera's here, not up here. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Floyd. So I see people are finding us. Again, sorry about the tech glitches. A lot of energy, a lot of changing energy. All right. Luckily, this is working. So I'm grateful. Again, even if the visual quality is not as good as usual. Good dawning, Mr. Floyd, to you too. So I'm going to clear my mind and ask Spirit to help us find the right meditation card for our collective, for our community. And this is the one they drew me to. Interesting. So Six of Swords is a passage, and it's reminding me to just say, let's be grateful. It's a great day to be alive. It's a tough world, but it's a great day to be alive. And should Spirit decide that this is my final day on Earth, it's a great day to die also. So, we have to really be appreciative for the moment. And what this card is telling me that a lot of us are starting to separate from some of the challenges or the anxieties of the world or other people. And right before I pulled this, I mentioned how we're changing our alliances, old friends leaving that are no longer aligned with our evolution and growth. New friends are coming in that are aligned with it. The idea with the Six of Swords is we don't have to carry all these swords with us as we come into a more peaceful energy, as we start to cross the proverbial stream, like in the story Rubicon, or there's a song called Rubicon by Peter Hamill, a Van de Graaff generator that I sometimes quote. And the line is, when you cross the stream, you never can return, but if you stay, you'll surely burn. So we kind of know there's no going back. When we're on this path, we're on this journey, we know there's no going back, but maybe we haven't reached the new shore yet. Maybe we don't know exactly what our purpose is yet, or where we're going, and what that means to us. So the idea of swords represents the mind and thoughts. So we have to clear our minds and try to purge the old mentality, the old thinking, separate from the lower aspects of the collective. I mean, we're always going to be connected to collective consciousness anyways, but there's different levels and different layers. There's the 3-dimensional, there's the 4-dimensional, there's the 5th dimensional, which is where we're kind of evolving. So within the 4th dimensional, you're also subject to positive, or I should say, maybe high frequencies and low frequencies. So there's something called the lower astral, where some of the negative spirits dwell, and negative entities and stuff like that. So yeah, but once we reach the 5th dimension, we're not subject to that cause and effect energy anymore. We've evolved past that. And to really reach the 5D, because you're already there, it's more of a matter of where our attention is, not the fact that all of a sudden we're going to shift to a new dimension. We're already there, but our attention and focus is likely to still be, for many of us, on the 3D and the 4D. Nothing wrong with that. That's part of our learning, part of our growth. It's not negative, but we're evolving and we're growing. So this is kind of what this card means to me, as a meaning for our group, but as a meditation tool. The idea, and by the way, this is the Morgan Greer deck of the tarot, the Morgan Greer tarot. So I like to let you guys know what deck I'm using, although I've been using this one pretty consistently for a good while. So the idea, like any other meditation, you get present, you get those thoughts out of your mind. So as you're crossing that stream and coming to the other side, maybe don't take all of those old thoughts with you. Just stay present. And the water represents emotion. So you're sort of traversing the levels of emotions. I was watching a video by what's her name, Teal Swan, who's a motivational speaker on YouTube. And she's just kind of commenting, God, I lost my train of thought. I need water. Hold on. There's a reason for me mentioning that. Okay. But just, she was explaining how people have just lost touch with their emotions, lost the ability to feel, and being able to feel is such a gift. But so many of us have traumas and things that have happened growing up and in the world that we kind of shut that down. And then the programming tries to shut down our connection with our own emotion and feelings. And so that way they can manipulate our emotions and tap into our survival instincts and just make us forget who we are and make us really buy into all the programming, all the limiting belief systems. But we're limitless beings, and as we come into that fifth dimension, as we come into that that shoreline up here, or that this land here, I mean, it almost looks like what they call superior mirages here, where sometimes the scenery looks much bigger than it is due to the differences of temperature and different heights, almost like a magnifying glass. Anyway, I think I'm getting too technical with you guys. Hopefully you get the idea. And that's basically it. So we can leave these swords behind, and we can kind of you just come in open-hearted, and that's how we're going to ascend. So as we meditate, just step into the card, and when you're present, relaxed in the moment, and you're not thinking, and you set the intention to enter into the card, just as you do that in your mind, just feel the energy when you step in, feel the changes in your energies and frequencies. Again, the idea of spiritual growth and ascension is part of it. I mean, a lot of it is decrease. It's like losing all this programming, but reclaiming your ability to feel. And when you're no longer afraid to feel things, even if it's sad or unpleasant or whatever, guess what? Then you start to feel energy more, and then you can go into nature and feel the trees and feel the wind and feel where the portals in nature are, or where the beings are. Feel where the fairies are and the nature spirits are. It all starts with reclaiming your gift and your right to be able to feel that gets taken away from us and replaced by feelings of guilt and shame and anger. And they're not even our feelings, they're other people's feelings that get programmed into us. So meditation and that's what this is telling me. So as you meditate with this card, keep that in mind and find yourself on this boat and see what the water looks like. See if there's any other people with you. They may be your spirit guides. See if there's any animals with you. Like some reason owls and what are they called? Raccoons come up in my mind for some reason. Raccoons are very resourceful. They're little thieves, but they're very resourceful. So they both of those come up in my mind as I'm talking. So anyways, so I think we get the idea. So let's do a 3-card spread now. And I'm just going to peek at your comments. I have to put my eyes back in. Hello from Germany, Blindly Inspired. Welcome, welcome. And hello, Karen. Yes. Yeah, well, we started late, Karen, so, due to technical issues, you only missed a little bit, but anybody that's jumping on late, you can catch up as a video as soon as we're done. Good morning, Colleen. Okay. Good morning, Olivia, if I missed you as well. So we're doing our 3-card spread. All right. And for those of you that are coming on that may notice the visual quality is a little different. Well, it's because my app to make my iPhone a webcam just stopped working. And then I think it's something with the computer, actually, because then I stuck I'm glad that my microphone's working, thank goodness. Unless you're hearing this through the through the device microphone, in which case my voice is it sounds a little bit off too then. All right. Hopefully my computer's okay. We're still in the shadow of Mercury retrograde. Even though the retrograde's over, there's still some of that energy around. That ends on June 1st, by the way, if anybody wants to know. So I just pulled this back a little bit so I can actually pull 3 cards from this one, and where am I going? This one. Okay. All right. Interesting energy. Nothing looks horrible, but couple things that I'm noticing. So here's the cards that I pulled. So I have to do this in a way that to align with this camera. So these are the cards that I pulled, and first thing I really noticed was the 7 of Cups here. That's the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands or Rods. I noticed the cloud is like shrouded. It's like information shrouded, basically. Um, the Pentacles could be about money, and Susan Auld, who's not in live because she does another event at 11 a.m., kind of, because she's got her finger on the pulse and kind of gave me a heads up about the possibility of banks shutting down for a while or whatever. I'm not necessarily getting that specifically on a psychic level, but that said, there's a lot that's going on with the money. There's a lot of manipulation. So if we do find things like more bank closures or laws or things that get enacted, I know in this country there's a little bit of a debate through the right and the left wing and how to handle things on a financial level. I mean, this country, the good old USA, and don't take this the wrong way. I love my country and what it stands for, but I also understand that there's a lot of a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on. Like, for example, since 1950, this country has been involved in more wars than I believe all other countries combined. I know that more than all other countries, but I believe more than all other countries combined in the world. The USA has been involved in more wars, and there's a lot of this manipulation of finances and resources and stuff like that. So we may find that things happen with banking systems or whatever, but it's really in lead of an agenda to digitalize money. And when money gets digitalized, then there's a central power that can control the flow of money more than they can right now. Just things to be aware of, not to be afraid of. As we evolve in consciousness, we start to supersede some of these agendas, and some things that many brilliant astrologers and psychics forecast really didn't come to pass or not on the level that was forecast. And these are very good and accurate, not flaky people. And I believe what's happening is we're evolving, and for every person that awakens to the truth, that adds to the collective until we reach that 100th monkey. Once enough people awaken, and that's somewhere between 1% and 3%. I don't know the details of the exactness of that, but it's not, you don't need half of the people to get it for collective consciousness to flip in that direction. You only need a small percentage. And they found this through experimenting with monkeys and teaching them new tricks and new habits, and finding that they teach monkeys on one side of an island something, it was like opening coconuts in a more efficient way, I believe. And then they found monkeys on the other side of the island that have no contact with those monkeys start doing it the new way. And then they go to neighboring islands and seeing those monkeys doing it the new and more efficient way. But nobody taught them. They only taught that small group of monkeys. And then all the monkeys in that whole island chain were doing that. And that's how consciousness works. So if you think that you're just one in 7 billion, or well, you are, but if you think that you can't make a difference because of that, that's not true. So for every person that awakens, we get one step closer, and we start to see the agendas of the deep state, if you want to call it that, start to dismantle, and then they start to shift the agendas. So it's a really interesting time. So anyway, what else is this telling me? A lot with the money. Recommendation to have probably at least $300 in cash should there be a period where you can't access your money. again, let's not be fear based, but let's be practical. Let's be warriors. Leave as little as possible up to fate. It's the old adage: prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that's kind of how I've approached this thing. We talked about food shortages. We prepared for the worst. Here in the Hudson Valley of New York, it never got that bad. Yeah, there were empty shelves. There were issues, but it never got to that point. Now, in less affluent areas, I understand that it was worse, but it never got to the point where we had no food, basically. And a lot of people were worried about that. Now, that's not completely off the table, guys. So, keep that in mind. So have your backup supplies. I feel like between 2025 and 2030, it's really going to be the heart of the change. Like, if we need to go more into communal living, more into sustainability, not to say don't prepare until then, but I have a feeling that's when it's going to happen. Spirit just popped 2027 in my mind. And that's only what, 4 years away. That's right around the corner. That's likely to be a huge turning point. So anyway, what else is this trying to tell me? And I'm going to peek at your comments while that's happening. Intervention. All right, so I'm not going to flash everybody, but I'm kind of keeping an eye on your questions. But I want to flash this because this is something that I haven't heard yet or I'm not aware of. But yeah, so again, keep that in mind. I mean, I think there's going to be such a shitstorm if they try to do away with cash. I just can't see that agenda really going. But as I'm saying that, Spirit's talking to me and saying, well, they're clever, so it's more like incremental. It's like, do something atrocious, let people get used to it, and then it becomes the new norm, and then do something else atrocious. Basically, it's kind of how that works. Yeah. So here we go. So central bank. Yeah, that's already in the works. Yeah. And I want to flash this too. I could eat weeds if necessary. Exactly. Great point. Yes. Great point. And I've had like mediumship session where people come through. This it hasn't happened for a while, but especially around 2020, 2021, and the spirits would come through and they kind of lecture us, and they'd be like, you guys are complaining because you have to wear a mask because of this, that, and the other thing. We lived through the Depression. We lived through times when there was no money, where people didn't know if they were going to have a meal. We lived through the big war. It's the saying, you guys don't know what it means to really have to do without and to really suffer in that way. And it's very sobering thoughts, and it's very true. And again, that's not to diminish what we're going through. It is a very difficult time, and I'm using mask as an example because that was like the big firestorm back then. But and not to say that it was right or wrong, or if it helped or if it didn't help. I mean, I had my we'll say questions about that all along, but at the same time, we do what we need to do. So, anyways, so here's a little, confirmation of that also. Yeah. New York City Depression. Yeah, but in the Great Depression, and I say this often, especially on tarot time, there were two, I think two brothers, unless there were more, called the Gallo brothers. They grew wine grapes. They opened a roadside stand and sold wine. I guess that was after the after the Prohibition, I guess. But it's still during the Depression, and they became millionaires basically. So when everybody was losing their money, they figured out how to what's the right word? How to understand the system, what's happening, and figure it out basically. So we're actually in the best time of our lives to make lots of money, though the powers that be want to convince us this money's scarce. The money's hard. I mean, that's always been the paradigm. Since there's a lot of money energy, that's part of why I'm talking about that. Um, and It's really, really, more programming because in our systems, in our Earth systems, I'm using this expression because I did a video, a channeling with the master teacher. You guys may have seen that. It's the abundance frequency meditation, and and as they were coming through, they were saying, well, everything that exists in abundance, like 15 trillion cells in our bodies, trillions of stars, trillions of planets. I'm looking out. There's a pine tree that's got millions of pine needles. Everything that exists in abundance because everything's energy, and that includes money. There's an abundance of money in our Earth systems. It's just that we are cut off from it, and it's a lot of that is through programming and our own thinking. So we have to get out of that box and be present in the moment, be present with these times and feel it out. And by doing that, then you're going to start to come up with ideas and discover how you can attract unlimited money in this system, in this earth environment right now. So anyway, I think that makes sense. It's a little what's the right word? um a little testimonial that the meditation is very good. And since Mr. Floyd also was sharing something with us, look up the Fed Now system. Your transaction will go directly through the Federal Reserve and be, yep, truth under your name to track all purchases and then pass to the payees. And yeah, AI potentially an amazing thing, but it depends on who controls it and how it's used. I mean, what I'm seeing is it being used to replace humans, basically. More people out of work, more people scrambling and feeling like they have to bow to the system, basically. So all things to keep in mind. Yes. Yeah, definitely do that. Thank you, Dandelion, for hating them, but yeah, exactly. And I'll flash your other. All right. I don't necessarily read that out loud, but you guys can read, just as easily as I can. So um and oh yeah. Very good. So I think that's the message with that. Some of you are traveling. I think that's what this. I feel like in this community, there's new money opportunities, new jobs for somebody. And what I was explaining before, and this has the feeling of like there being a lot of interference, or maybe that's not the word, just just irreconcilable differences with one or more friends or family members. And it's okay to move on from that because you're moving into higher and better energy, basically. And I think for some of you that there's been one or more people that have just been draining you energetically, or emotionally dumping on you, or being, what's the word, succubuses, or whatever, whatever the word is. And you're just kind of clearing that energy. It's like I feel like a lot of you, this is a week of clearing the old, basically, and trying to get out of any stuck patterns or any repetitive thought patterns. And you do that by being present and being open. And I'm seeing smudging as I look at the smoke. So do your saging or your Palo Santo, do your smudging. Lots of clearing, clearing of the old, lots of clearing energy. Yeah. Or incubus, depending on your Oh, thank you for the clarity. Yeah, psychic vampires by any other name, I guess. All right, and yeah, greener pastures. It's like I like this as an outcome because I feel like whatever's going on or whatever changes in family or people in your life is going on, that you're actually coming into better energy. And I think a lot of you, or some of you at least, are really thinking seriously about going a little bit more off grid, or figuring out how to do sustainability. I'm seeing things like generators, or learning how to even create power and electricity through more crude or primitive methods. Uh, So again, there may be that tells me that it's still on the table. There may be a period where the power shuts down in large regions or the internet shuts down or stuff like that. Now, a lot of this will be orchestrated from what I'm sensing. I don't know this, but this is what I feel. Um, in order to push agendas in the future, fear and taking people's creature comforts away is a great way to control the masses. So again, have a plan, have a backup plan, and I'll work on doing the same. Yeah, I'll work on doing the same. So let me do my Native American cards as well. Um, all right. I usually like to just pull one of these, and this one, polygamy. Oh my goodness. No, I don't think Spirit's telling us to have multiple partners. No, I don't think that that's the meaning. Let me look at this. So this would be like the Nine of Swords, I believe, in the regular tarot. But what I do get from this card is, again, kind of a sense of community and sort of working together. And it's kind of the feeling that I get is sort of just kind of reiterating what I was saying, that there's a lot of powers of control out there. I think the message from this card is those that are too deep in the programming, don't try to convince them otherwise. You're just going to get frustrated, gaslighted, and maybe harmed, basically, because it's the programming hijacks people's survival instincts. So if you go against what they're programmed to believe, it's tantamount to somebody threatening their lives, and they're going to come after you with that kind of energy, and it's not going to do anybody any good at the end of the day. Um, so um, so I think that's the feeling that I get from that message, and it's kind of saying, stick with those close few that get it, that are willing to grow, that are not afraid of it, that are willing to see through the illusions and delusions, and to take a stand on things, basically. So that's kind of, I believe, that the message that we add onto this. So I've got my sacred geometry card today. So I want to see what frequency Spirit really wants us to work on this week. Uh, yes, and yeah, MDR, indeed. Nine of Swords is challenging, but it's more challenging in the head than what's going on in the world around us. And that's a good point, because that gets me to talk about another facet of the meaning of that. Presence, heart brain coherence. You know what? I need to have like a little tape recorder for every live, so I can just push the button, and then I don't have to talk so much. When we're present in the moment, then we're not in our limiting thoughts. We're not in our programming anymore. But the real gift is being in the heart. When you can be in the heart frequency, and you can do that by feeling grateful. It's really not hard. That's the irony. It's really not that hard, but with our programming, it makes it hard. And for me, compassion and gratitude, when I can feel both of those, that's when I lock into what's called the master frequency, or the portal of the heart. And teachers like Greg Braden and Teresa Bullard and Joe Dispenza, and others, Bruce Lipton, I can go down the list of those types of teachers that incorporate science into spirituality. um, but what they say is it's a master frequency, and if you can feel those emotions and hold that into your heart, you lock into that master frequency. And when I do it, everything changes. I get a head rush that's so intense, it feels like I'm going to shoot out of my body when I step into that frequency, step into that power. So do that regularly, because when you're in your heart, the hearts think. The hearts are intelligent, and the hearts are stronger than the brain, and for a heart to be coherent, a heart feels love. That's what hearts do. That's the heart's function. It's to remind us that we are love and that we are connected to God or spirit. We are connected to each other. And when we're in that energy and we're in that frequency, we can't be programmed. The subconscious programming is of the mind. That's where the subconscious is. We don't want a subconscious. I mean, yeah, we have a what's it called? An autumn. I can't even remember. A, there's the parasympathetic nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system. But anyway, point being is that we have subconscious. We'll always have a subconscious. But the idea of becoming conscious is you start to purge and whittle away those layers of the subconscious. Like I do not have the luxury anymore of being able to stuff things that my programming and upbringing would deem immoral into my subconscious so I can just behave in a negative manner. Um, it's again, it comes down to survival and all that kind of stuff. But in any event, I just don't have that, and that's challenging in one way, but it's what needs to be. We need to be conscious, and simple things like that. Releasing what's held in the subconscious, learning how to be present, learning. Bring your guides in, bring Archangel Michael in. Sometimes we can't go this alone. That's why we have spiritual helpers. But bring them in and set the intention that you're going to pierce the veils of the subconscious, even if it's painful memories that come up, even if you start to come into painful cultural or ancestral memories. These things need to be, we need to be aware of them in order to step out of that energy, in order to evolve past that. But again, it taps into the survival instinct, fear, and fear is a very, very powerful energy. It's a very powerful emotion. And so anyway, I think we get the idea, right? We get the idea. So let me go on to the sacred geometry and what frequency that Spirit wants us to work on this week. All right. So Jody just saying 7 is a very meaningful number, especially this year because we're in a universal 7 guided year in numerology. 2023, 2 + 2 + 0 3 = 7. This is the card they want. No, not this card. I have to stop thinking. Okay. Now I found my card. Not planned, not planned. The frequency of compassion. So we were just talking about that. So ditto. But let me read with the caption too. The frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth. That's kind of being a medium in a way, right? Spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. By the way, you're a medium too. It's not just me. I have no special powers, no special gifts. I'm just, another son of the divine. Basically, we're all mediums. Not being a medium doesn't necessitate talking to the dead. What it is learning how to be an intermediary. I like the way that they explain this. Being the divine mediator between heaven and earth. That's what a medium is. Being the medium between the unseen and the seen world, spirit and matter. Spirit and matter. We're matter, but we're really spirit. Matter's an illusion. So when you start to bridge that gap and start to understand that, you realize that we're just energetic beings of different bandwidths of energy. So that's why we appear different through our human operating systems, like our eyes and optic nerves, our ears, all that stuff. It just gives us a way to relate to our physical world, this bandwidth of energy that creates the physical world. But nothing that we see is real. It's what things look like to us is not what they really look like. They're different frequencies of energy. And as we awaken, we start to learn that. And then guess what? Then you start to learn how to bend physical reality because it's all energy. It's bendable through the mind, the intention, and the spirit. And that's how law of attraction works, amongst other things. So, we have these superhuman powers and abilities, and we're starting to, more and more awaken to them. So anyway, that's the frequency to work on, compassion. So the next time, which will probably happen for most of us later today, that somebody gets on your nerves, or says something negative, or acts in a negative way. I mean, that's not to say to just lay down your arms, turn the other cheek. Sometimes you have to defend yourself, but be compassionate. We do not know what that other person's been through. And sometimes when I get pissed off, I need to remind myself of that. And I mean, I'm not Gandhi. I'm not perfect either. I'm getting there, but I'm not there. There are times that I'll react first and think about it later. The more present we can be, the less that's going to happen. The more in our heart we can be, the less that's going to happen. And the more present in our heart we're going to be, the less that outside programming is going to influence us. All right. Next on the agenda. I've been using these cards a lot in my daily short form videos on YouTube when I do my daily forecast. This is called the Divine Abundance deck. So let's see what Spirit is saying about how we're going to move into greater abundance this week. And for those of you that you don't know, every morning except Sundays at 8 a.m., Saturdays at 9 a.m., I release a short form video that's a 1 minute either spiritual message or psychic forecast for the group. It'll resonate more with some than others, especially since there's hundreds and sometimes thousands of people that see them. So this is what I got, the change as far as like the divine abundance message for us. And what's that? Anybody know which of the Vedic deities this card is? Is that Lakshmi or might be Lakshmi? I'm not sure. But when the ego finally sees the utter madness of trying to control everything, you come to a sacred crossroads in your own evolution. Isn't that a beautiful message and so true? I love this deck too, Colleen. So anyhow, that's what I get for that. So let us move on to the next thing. Shakti, maybe that's Shakti. Thank you, Suzette. And Bit Babe, thank you for that also. So Shakti it is. Majority rules, Shakti it is. Which I do believe relates to the divine feminine. So you can kind of add that into part of your translation here. All right, medicine cards next. Let's see what the animal totems have to say. Changes. Somebody's channeling David Bowie now. And also the Grateful Dead. Can I see the word grateful? So of course that has to be the Grateful Dead, right? And Bowie. Yes, I love music. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. This is a card. They just pointed this out. We got lizard. Lizard, they can shapeshift, right? I'm gonna need the book. I don't even know where to begin with lizard and interpreting that one. So I'm gonna let them do that for me. I mean, one thing, lizards are very, very sensitive to their environments, and their behavior. The environment pretty much dictates their behavior. If it's cold, they go into the earth. If it's too hot, they go into the shade, basically. But I know there's more of a meaning than that. 35. Dreaming. Interesting. Dreaming is the meaning according to the medicine cards. Lizards. All right. Lizard sounds. I just want to get something that's pertinent here. All right, I'll do the whole story. Lizard sat rolling in the shadow of a big rock, shading himself from the desert sun. Snake crawled by looking for some shadow to coil up in and rest. Snake watched Lizard for a while. As Lizard's eyeballs went side to side behind his enormous closed lids. Snake hissed to Lizard to get Lizard's attention. Slowly, Lizard's dreamy eyes opened, and he saw Snake. Snake, you scared me. What do you want? Lizard cried. Snake spit his answer from his forked tongue. Lizard, you are always getting the best shadow spots in the heat of the day. This is the only big rock for miles. Why don't you share your shade with us? Lizard thought for a moment, then agreed. Snake, you can share my shade spot, but you have to go to the other side of the rock, and you must promise not to interrupt me. Anyway, I don't want to read the whole story. But the idea is dreaming is really, really powerful. And I've had dreams where I've met people on the astral, and then they've had similar dreams the same night. So in any event, it's powerful. And this this I think is very succinct. So this relates to dragon energy also. We're not going to find dragons in the medicine card, but I think you got it. I blindly inspired. I think you got it. Uh, right in there, and the lizards in the shade. Yeah, thank you, T and Taylor. Also, daydream more. Sure, why not? Um, so but yeah, so dragon medicine. Some of us are dragon people. All these things that are like childhood fantasy. Where do they come from? They came from other dimensions, other levels of reality that do exist, that are real. So dragon medicine is very powerful for those that have that. We can fly, we can breathe fire, we can do a lot of really, really cool things. But also the dragons would be the protectors of the land also. And um, this was reported like during the like invasions back in Genghis Khan's time. So we're going back a long way. Also named Temujin. So that's the Genghis Khan. And they basically were able to create thought forms of dragons and huge beings. So when they came and they were conquering the lands, the other side, we're seeing dragons and scary things, and they were running away from them. So that's utilizing that. I feel like they're saying there's a certain amount of meaning of illusion connected to dragon medicine also, that you can learn how to appear as something that you're not. And it's very warriorship, type of energy. Anyway, that's what I'm getting. Um, and Babe saying, pretty sure the dragon have been trying to contact me. I keep seeing them everywhere. And I'm pretty sure that they are also. And yes, much misunderstood. And yes, we love dragons also. So moving right along. Oh, here, I have my angel message cards. This, I think, is a message for Babe, for Mr. Floyd. That's the way to do it. Talk to them. What do they want? And trust what you get. As long as you're not in your thinking mind, it'll always be from spirit. That's the key. Easier said than done, but the more you meditate, the more you can flip into your spirit mind and out of your personal mind and personal thoughts. All right. Here we go. What do we get? Archangel Gabriel. So that's the angel message. So many of us are working with Archangel Gabriel, the messenger angel, also the great awakener, the archangel of the West, archangel of water. And what it says here is, you have an important life purpose involving communication and the arts. Are you talking to me? No kidding. Please don't allow insecurity to hold you back. I will help you. I'm going to use my own example. This, not to be a narcissist or anything, but I'll use my own example. Did I let the fact that I had extreme paralyzing fear of performance on camera stop me from doing YouTube when Spirit told me to get on, which was the last thing I would have ever thought on my own? I was just meditating on New Year's Eve 2019, and I heard, get on YouTube. There's a need for that. I'm like, have you seen me on camera, Spirit? What are you talking about? Get on YouTube. So I reprogrammed my mind. I did sleep programs. I practiced. I did mental rehearsal. I'm not almost at 3 years, and I feel like I finally reached that point where I just feel completely comfortable and natural on camera. It's taken that long with a lot of work, but I did it. So I did not let insecurities hold me back. And if I can do it, you can do it, because I'm no better than you or anybody else. So anyway, that's the message that I have here from that. I just wanted to flash that, because the first program I did, it was in the 1980s or early 90s. When the Silva method came up in cassettes. That's when I did this. It's a wonderful program. So I knew that when I had that vision. So I think wow, that's really cool. Yeah, that's really good. All I do is perform. Yeah, yeah. We all have different history. We come into this world with gifts. We come into this world with challenges, and we're meant to grow with our gifts and expand on our gifts and develop new gifts while overcoming the challenges. Basically, so I did not have the gift of being a natural performer. I almost fainted when just announcing to my school orchestra the song we were going to do now. I was like, I got really dizzy and I went, and I was like 10 years old. So I did not have that gift, definitely. And one more comment before we end. And I ended up at Dungeon and Dragons theme. Wow. Hey, nice, 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 nice. All right, all right, all right, all right. I'll flash this one too. Write your book, yes, write your books. Oh, I don't even remember that, but that's cool. And we'll finish up with dragons are real. So I'm going to end on that note. Dragons are real. Have a great day, a great rest of your weekend, everybody. The interview that was scheduled for 2 with Betty Hansen had to be postponed. I don't have a date for that yet. She had a family thing come up. So she's an amazing teacher. You'll love her also. And June 6th, is it? We have Matthew John, who's a spiritual teacher, coming on also to talk about his awakening. So we got some good stuff for you guys coming up. All right, I'm ending the broadcast. Have a great day, dragons and dungeons. Love you.